You are now tuned in to
April Fools! Wilma'S Potcast.
It's your fellow stoner here. I'm Wilma Flintstone, and this is Wilma'S Potcast, the podcast that's all about pot. I'm gonna clap for myself too. Whether you call it pot, weed, bud, chiba, ganja, grass, I'm smoking it. I'm probably eating it too. Let me tell y'all a little bit about myself. A few years ago, I changed my Instagram name to Wilma Flintstone, and that's just my legal name now. I'm about to be like Madonna. Just call me Wilma. So, obviously, you guys can tell I'm very enthusiastic about weed. I make my own edibles. You gotta follow Flintstone NYC. Check them out on Instagram. You won't be disappointed. I am very much in love with Mary Jane. Everything about it. The smell, the burn, the look, the taste. There's just certain buds that you get and you just want to admire them. You don't even want to smoke them. You just want to leave them there in that little jar. Just look at them all day. Maybe sniff them, put it in your pocket when you go to the store and be like, yeah, you wish you was smoking that, don't you? It be happening all the time. I forget it sometimes. I walk into the store and I'm like, oh shit, is that me? Do I smell weed or do I smell like weed? But let me tell y'all about the first time that I ever smoked. I was 11 years old. I had just turned 11 years old. So it was the summer of whatever. And my sister's friend was like, yeah, I got this exotic. We about to get high. I was going to say lit, but we wasn't even using that word back then. So we in the car, hotboxing. I'm mad young, so they only let me hit the blunt a few times. But it was the first time I had ever smoked a full blunt. So I was high as a kite. And I don't know if y'all remember them old school Sudafed commercials where it looked like the lady's head was blowing up like a balloon. They opened that window and the air hit me and my head blew up like a balloon. And that's the only way that I could reference it is to reference these commercials from this time. The Sudafed commercial and the mac and cheese commercial with the dinosaur where there's like a cheesy river and everything is blue and yellow. And I'm just looking out the window and everything is blue and yellow. And I'm like, oh, I'm with the fucking cheesy mac dinosaur. Like, this is lit. I've never gotten that high ever again. Of all the strains, of all the crazy amounts that I've smoked, because y'all already know I smoke. It's usually a bit cloudy in here. Y'all probably surprised to even see my face right now. But I've never gotten that high. Not to say that I'm chasing that high, but even psychedelics have never given me that effect when that first blunt of exotic, whatever that was that guy had. But it was definitely a good time. And then I got paranoid. And all I wanted was water. And my older sister at the time, she was an older sister, she put me out the car, gave me the money, was like, just go buy the water. But my feet literally felt like cement. Come to find out, now there's actually a strain called cement shoes. So I'm like, oh, so that's what we were smoking. Okay. I could not get into the store and get my water. They were threatening me, telling me, oh, we're going to call the cops on you. So I'm laughing and crying because I'm high as a fucking... I'm just high. But I'm scared because I'm like, they're going to call the cops. My mom's going to find out. And I'm going to go to jail. And I'm like, bitch, you need to chill the fuck out. Drink this water. That was probably the best sleep I ever had, too. I don't think I ever slept that good either. I'm definitely chasing that sleep. I'm not chasing that high no more, but I'm chasing that sleep. That's for sure. So I want to hear about everybody's first experience with weed, whether it was good or bad, whether you still smoke it today. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear what made you want to smoke, what makes you not want to smoke. Because I'm sure my mac and cheese Sudafed commercial, I'm not the only one that had a crazy ass experience like that. But, anyway, with that being said, being scared of the cops and shit coming to get me when I ain't even have nothing on me, weed is now legalized in New York. New York is the 16th state to jump on this bandwagon of weed legalization. and everybody is excited. But what does it really mean for us? You know, I remember, like, just a couple years back what I had to do just to go outside and smoke a blunt and not have to worry. You was leaving work on your break. You got to take the Visine, the hand lotion, the hand sanitizer, the body spray, the gum. You had to have this whole little pack besides your weed pack to be prepared to smoke it. And then you can't just go outside and light it. You got to find a secluded spot. You got to look around. People are looking at you like, oh, look at this one. Oh, they out here smoking weed. And you're like, damn, like, you just popped 3 pills, Karen, relax. Let me smoke my blunt. Chill. But it's legal now. So what does this really mean for us? What's really going to happen with the legalization of weed? A few parts of this legislation that are effective immediately. Anyone over the age of 21 can legally carry up to 3 ounces on them outside of their home and possess up to 5 pounds legally in their home.
Whoa.
That's a lot of weed, right? It's a lot of weed. So I'm like, damn, I should hide a few because it's only 5. So I only got 5. That's it. Don't ask me for nothing else. But they are also going through criminal records and it's expunging people with previous convictions of marijuana offense charges that would no longer be punishable by law today, which is amazing because there's so many people that have records for bullshit charges. There's so many people that are still incarcerated today because of said charges. So this is going to be, you know, for me, this is the most exciting part of that. Like, let's get them out, get them back on track, like for bullshit charges, and for what? For something that's medicinal, that's mainstream medicinal now. Like, so that is definitely one of the greater parts of it. One of the downsides, however, we will not be expected to be able to purchase weed legally in New York till 18 to 24 months. So we're looking at almost 2 years of being able to purchase weed in a dispensary without a medicinal marijuana card or a doctor letter or whatever you need to do it now. They're also going to add an 8% sales tax with an additional 4% for state or county tax. Another downside of this legalization, they are going to also add a tax on the potency of the THC with a 0.5 cent per milligram on flower and a 3 cent per milligram on anything that is edible. So just be warned. You know what I'm saying? Just be careful. The more you know. So it's definitely a big step for us, but it's also, we got to know the logistics. We got to know what's really behind this. It's not going to happen overnight. They signed that bill a day ago, 2 days ago, but we're still looking at another 2 years before we actually know what the real legalization is going to be, what the real effects are going to be on us and our community and everybody else involved in the marijuana industry. But still, weed is legal. Like, we can fucking smoke it anywhere you can smoke a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? Any smoking section, you could smoke if they're smoking a cigarette, you could smoke your weed there. Just use discretion. Don't go to the park. Don't sit outside the school and roll up, please, because that is still punishable by law. So I decided to start my own podcast, to inform you guys of such, to let you guys know what's going on, and also to share my stories and my trials and tribulations with this wonderful plant that we all love so much. I'm thinking back still 14, 15, even when I was 21, hiding my weed, stashing my weed, worried about going on to the ferry because of the dogs, and they bomb sniffing dogs, and I know I ain't got that shit, but I'm like, they gonna smell this. They gonna smell this because I could smell it. And then you walk past and I'm like, damn, should I put some milk bones in my pocket or something? How I'm distracting these dogs. Never had any incident occur in such situations, but you know, it goes through your mind just because, you know, even a gram of weed you could get locked up for a couple years ago. So it's just crazy. Like, we used to be bugging out in the streets, even smoking in the parks, smoking in the schools. Like, I won't do that no more though. Even though it's legal, I still ain't doing that, and I don't suggest that you do either. You know what I mean? Like, sit on your stoop, stand by the corner store, whatever. Just watch where you smoke it. Another thing with the legality, if I even said that word right, you know, I'd be high. You know, I'd be too high. Police officers are no longer able to arrest or prosecute anyone for possession under 3 ounces, and officers may still try to use the odor of burnt marijuana for an excuse to search your car for contraband. However, the smell alone is no longer just cause for them to search your car. So just be informed, be aware. Like I said, the more you know about it, the more you can protect yourself from it. So, one of my favorite strains, I'm going to tell you guys about this real quick. I have a couple, but one of my all-time favorite is blue cookies. I actually did an event a couple years back for my birthday, and that was the password. If you ain't say blue cookies at the door, I don't care how much you was paying. You wasn't coming in if you ain't say blue cookies. And it was crazy because 3 of the vendors that were there had blue cookies, and I was like, oh, so yeah, I knew. They knew the vibe. But blue cookies, man, I love any cookie strain, but blue cookies is my favorite. Orange cookies is good too, because y'all see I like the orange. Which, speaking of, y'all gotta check out Fupa Wear, Fupa_wear NYC on Instagram. I got the Fupa cat, and I'm talking about is a brand for women working on some men's, you know what I mean? Could be unisex. We're working on some styles for the men. It's a brand empowering women to embrace your fupa. Just because you got a fupa don't mean you ain't sexy. Show that shit off. A fupa, if you don't know what a fupa is a acronym. It stands for Fat Upper Pussy Area. So, you know, I guess men could have them too, right? Fat upper penis area. Dudes got fupas too. I don't even want to hear it. Get you some fupa for your girl and get you some fupa too. Check them out. Fupa_wear_NYC. I'm talking about, get your fupa hat too. Gotta have all the matching. Feel me? But yo, shout out to S.STREET. Shout out to the 1718 Collective. Shout out to Flintstone NYC. I just want to thank everybody who showed me immense love and support, and I was honestly not expecting the such a positive reaction that I got, and it was kind of almost overwhelming. I couldn't even say it. You heard? I'm getting a little emotional. It's overwhelming. That's gonna be my new word. Overwhelming. It was Wilma'whelming, guys. It was. But thank you to everybody. There's too many of y'all. I can't shout you all out, but you know who you are. It's much appreciated. Now I'm talking about. So let's get into my strain review because I posted it for you guys. The strain of the week is apples and bananas. I like to smoke apples and bananas. I really do though. So, what don't I like to smoke, right? According to Leafly, if you're not familiar with Leafly, Leafly is an app and it's also a website. You can download it for free and you can search your strains. You can get the percentage of THC. It'll tell you whether it's a indica, sativa, hybrid, indica dominant hybrid, all of that. It'll tell you the effects. So according to Leafly, apples and bananas is a hybrid, 23% THC. The effects are happy, creative, and euphoric. Y'all know I'm like always happy because I'm always high. So I can't even tell you if the weed itself made me any happier than I normally am. But it definitely had that euphoric feel. And it definitely had that creative. I finished 3 paintings that I've been working on for 3 months. That they was just half done. Just sitting in the corner collecting. I finished all 3 of them in an hour. So I was like, word, shout out to you, Strawberry Banana. This is how fucking high I am. I said the wrong strain. Apples and bananas. We like to smoke them. But it definitely had a great, fruity taste. It was one of those weeds, like I mentioned earlier, that you just want to look at. You just want to admire it. And just keep it in your pocket so everybody can smell that you have it. But yeah, guys, check that out. It's according to Leafly, it's a cookie strain. Allegedly. Don't quote me. It's a cookie strain. Y'all already know how I feel about the cookies, so check that strain out. And for anybody that's interested in, starting to smoke or using weed for more, not just recreational purposes, but for beneficial purposes, definitely check out Leafly. They're very informative. They'll tell you everything that you need to know. Of course, it varies depending on who's smoking it and who's using it. But for the most part, they're on point. So if you're looking for something that's going to help you sleep or you're looking for something that's going to keep you up, definitely check out Leafly before you buy or before you smoke, whether it's what you have now or something that you're interested in smoking. Definitely know the P's and Q's of that bud. Because there's nothing worse than when you go and you pick some shit up and you hype to smoke and you open that bag and it just smell like, air or bad breath or something. And nobody wants to get caught up with that unidentified strain of bud. Nobody wants to smoke USB. So don't blame the weed man either. It's not always their fault. But again, check out Flintstone NYC on Instagram. They'll get you right. Don't worry. I promise. Because it's me. And that's when the edibles started kicking in. So like I mentioned, I do make my own edibles. I started making them because I was buying prepackaged ones. I'm not going to mention any because we ain't even going to do that. But you know, those ropes, yeah, I don't like them either. But yeah, I wasn't getting any effects. So I was like, you know what? I got to take this upon myself because I love the edible high. So I decided to start making my own. I started sharing them with people and they're like, these are really good. You should sell them. And I'm like, you're right. I should sell them and you should buy them. And I make them weekly. The menu varies weekly. This week on the menu, we have white chocolate Rice Krispie treats, fudge brownies, and for Easter, carrot cake. I've never heard of an infused carrot cake. I don't know about you guys, but that shit is good. So get you some. And if if you don't know what you want to try, hit us up and ask about our sample boxes, because that's an option too. It's a more affordable option, and then you get to try multiple things, and then you could decide what you're going to want when the next time you come, because I know you're going to come back. So check them out. Flintstone NYC. Check me out. I'm talking about myself in the third person. We on YouTube Live, guys. Make sure y'all check it out. Make sure y'all check out the S.STREET YouTube page. Like, subscribe, share, follow, all of that. Even make multiple accounts because we need them subscribers up. You feel me? We won't tell nobody. But yes, make sure y'all follow my Instagram page as well for my podcast, Wilma'S Potcast, WILMAS We're doing a giveaway. Once we get to 500 followers, we're going to give away a whole gift bag full of treats, buds, merch, stickers, all of that. I'm not going to tell y'all what's in it exactly because that's going to ruin the surprise, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it for a free follow on Instagram. Like, why would you not want to be entered into that? I've also done 2 giveaways prior to this one at an event and one on Instagram, a random giveaway. I gave away 2,000 milligram brownies. Yes, 1,000 milligram brownie. Do you hear that? 1,000 milligram brownie? Get you one so you could know. Also, we got 420 coming up because y'all know it's April now. It's my favorite month. Can we just talk about how lit this 420 is going to be with the legalization of weed? I'm not even going to have to smoke. I'm going to just walk down the block and get high. It's just going to be everywhere. Like, I'm convinced that now that, you can smoke a cigarette there, I can light my blunt. Okay. It's going to be I hope it's going to be a sunny day, but it's going to be real cloudy in New York on the 20th. Stay tuned to that Instagram page because we're going to be posting details. Myself and a couple of other vendors, we're going to be doing a giveaway, but a stash and dash. So it's similar to what? Like a scavenger hunt. We're going to be posting clues as to where we're at. So you just got to stay tuned to that Instagram story. You're not going to want to miss this. You won't, if you win this, you won't even have to buy weed on 420, 421, 22, 23, or 24. Like, y'all going to be straight for the whole week. 420 is on a Tuesday, right? Y'all gonna be good from Tuesday to next fucking Tuesday with this stash and dash. So definitely stay tuned for that. Because y'all know I love to get y'all Flintstone. Y'all know I'm always high. Another thing that I've noticed the longer that I'm smoking, weed don't give me the munchies no more. Weed does not give me the munchies. The only way that I get the munchies is if I eat an edible. And then that shit is just like, give me everything. I'm a black hole. Just fill me with all the chicken sandwiches. And it's insane because I could sit there and I could smoke 15, 20 blunts and not even be phased and maybe just need some water. I eat an edible, and I'm like, yo, what we eating? Y'all eat? Y'all hungry? Be like, yo, you just ate. I know, but I'm like, what are we eating? Like, but yeah, check out Flintstone NYC. Get them killer brownies. You know what I'm talking about? They're going to have you on your ass, literally, for hours. But it's all right, because you're going to feel really good. So, you already know, Wilma, like Madonna. Check me out. It's hot as fuck in here, guys. I don't know if it's the Henny or if it's the edible kicking in at the same time. But yeah, back to the days when weed was not legal. It's even been decriminalized for quite some time in New York City, but possession was, you still cannot have it. You couldn't have it on you. And I'm just like, damn, I'm just thinking like, this future generation got it good. They got it good because they don't have to go through all that worry that we went through. Hiding it from your mom, hiding it from your sister, hiding it at school, hiding it. I didn't smoke at school, guys. I didn't say that. So, yeah. But this future generation got it good. I was telling one of my nieces the other day, she's a new smoker. She's a baby smoker. And I was telling her how lucky like they are. They didn't have to go through that Reggie phase. They didn't have to go through that Reggie phase. They didn't, like, it's hard. You can't even find Reggie no more. Like, they spoiled. They spoiled because we was picking out seeds and stems like a motherfucker. You went and bought a fucking dime. You lucky if it was a gram, and you taking out 0.7 in stems and seeds. Like, unless you wanted to smoke that snap, crackle, pop blunt, you had to take all that shit out. It's crazy, though. It's crazy how things have changed so drastically over the years, and how it's just so much more of a well-known thing, and there's so much information out there for us. Y'all have to check out an Instagram page, The Blacklist XYZ. They tell you a lot. They inform you a lot about what's going on in this industry as far as what's real and what isn't. They're tampering with our weed, guys. They're tampering with our weed of everything that they can fuck with. They want to fuck with our weed now, too. Like, yeah, boo, stop fucking with our weed. There was a video. I don't know if they just used water or what type of liquid substance it was, but they dropped it like with a medicine dropper on the weed, and the water that was coming out of the bud had like red or purple, and then there was another one that like started foaming up because they put baking soda. Like, of all things I had to worry about, like maybe somebody stuffing in their balls and a pube or something, but fucking baking soda. And I'm like, well, what does this baking soda do to the weed? Like, we know what it does to the crack, but what is it doing to the weed? Like, how is that stretching your weed out? It's to fake the funk. They're faking the funk. And if you a real weed smoker, if you really love weed, you know what the funk I'm talking about. That scent, that look, they're faking the trichromes on it. You get that weed and you hype and it's got all little crystals on it, it might be fucking baking soda. And that just bugs me out. So I'm like, then I start thinking about it, like, in those high moments, oh, your blunt burning funny. Why that shit look like a cone? Why the cherry on your blunt so long? Baking soda. They got baking soda. So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I never thought I'd see the day that there's baking soda in bud. But it's not even just the weed. It's these carts, too. Right before this whole COVID era, there was a lot of young kids being hospitalized for complications from smoking carts and things like that. They're putting all type of things other than actual weed oil in there. However they're taking it out, however they're melting it down, whatever they're doing. There was reports of maple syrup. I would just assume the heat that shit will blow up. That shit will blow up, like, or vitamin E oil. Who wants to smoke that? How will you smoke? This is why there's so many complications. Like, if that shit don't have that little QR code and it brings me to a whole website of some legitimate shit, I don't want it. But yo, shout out to YouTube Live Shout out to YouTube Live. We on YouTube Live. Make sure y'all check out S.STREET Media on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. I told you, make multiple accounts.
They talking back to you heavy on live.
Hey guys. Hey guys, it's me. It's Wilma. Come get high with me. Come get Flintstoned. I am looking for some of New York City's best joint and blunt rollers. Even if you roll your shit in a brown paper bag and you're proud of it, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see how you roll it. I want to see how it smokes. Come down to the studio. Anybody that participates in my weed rolling will receive a free gift. I'm not going to tell you what that free gift is because we're not going to spoil it. But we'll also smoke that blunt outside of the studio on my Instagram Live, and I'll judge your blunt. Can't smoke in the studio no more because I smoked it out. And, you know, it gets too cloudy, and then I can't see, we can't hear, and then everybody just gets high. So come down, show me how you roll it up on YouTube Live. It'll be posted on Instagram, YouTube. It's going to be everywhere. Show off your rolling skills. I want to see what you're proud of, and then I am going to judge your blunt. And I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to be like the fucking Simon Cowell of blunt judging. And I'm going to be like, this is rubbish. So speaking of a good roll burns. Let me show y'all. This is a good roll. This is a good roll right here. I don't even have to smoke it. I already know because I rolled it. But a good roll is not too tight. It's not loose. It burns evenly. You don't got to like put the blunt in your mouth to pull it. You don't got to choke up on it. None of that. A bad roll, you got the stems poking through. I got weed in my mouth, and every couple of seconds, I don't want to smoke that. It's either too tight or too loose. Or I love when you see people that I call them tumor blunts. That both ends of the blunt is real skinny, and then there's just a big bubble in the middle. Like, is your blunt pregnant or got a tumor? Because I don't want to offend it. Or the limp dick blunts. Those are my all-time favorite. I like to call them the party blower blunts. Because if you blow the smoke back into it, it just goes right back up. Those blunts need some honey. Those limp dick blunts need some honey packets. I said, y'all gotta get some honey packets and maybe put on your lip. That might help. But also, I'm willing to give out tips to anybody that's trying to learn how to roll. I've taught 4 people how to roll blunts. And I can't say that they're as good as me, but I'm proud of them. I'm very proud of them. They took the initiative. They took the knowledge that I gave them. And they all roll their own blunts now. So that's definitely something to be proud of. I'm about to be a blunt roller instructor. Is that a title? That should be a title. I'm putting that shit on my Indeed resume. Hire me. Blunt instructor roller. Blunt roller instructor. Either or, it fucking works. I'm going to teach you how to roll. But yeah, come down. Come roll for me. Come smoke with me. Come eat some edibles. Anybody who comes down to my show, I'm going to have free edible samples. Y'all going to get a free gift. It's just going to be lit. It's going to be lit. Because how could you not be lit with weed? You know what I'm saying? We love weed. And weed loves me. Yo, I've experienced, because I used to be into the gym heavy, right? A couple of years back. And I went to the gym. After about like an hour workout, I take my shoes off. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why I smell weed? And I'm bugging because I knew I didn't have shit on me because I had just come from work. So I'm going through my bag. I'm going through my pockets. I'm like, where's the fucking weed? My shoes smelled like weed. The weed was like seeping out of my pores when I was sweating. And no lie, somebody was like, oh, nah, you was hiding your weed in your shoe. I'm like, yo, first of all, weed's almost legal now. And it's not like 98. So no, I was not hiding my weed in my shoe. It was literally coming out of my pores. Like, I was sweating weed. So, like, that's like, you know how people are like, oh, you are what you eat. You are what you smoke. You are what you smoke. I'm going to quote the Joint Chiefs. Y'all got to check out the Joint Chiefs. I love the Joint Chiefs. They are a group from the Bronx. You as lit as the gas that you keep. And when I heard those lyrics, that shit just resonated with me. And I was like, oh, so you lit. Okay. Got that gas. You lit. But yo, check out the Joint Chiefs on Instagram. They on iTunes as well too. Check them out. Y'all definitely won't be disappointed. If you a stoner and you like hip hop, then they definitely the guys for you. Weed is fucking legal, guys. Weed is legal. Like, it's just so stuck in my brain that, like, I didn't think I was gonna see it in my lifetime. Like, you know, you hear about it in, like, Colorado and Cali and wherever else, and then it was like, oh, Massachusetts jumped on. It's like, oh, now let's get the whole fucking tri-state area on board. Let's just have like a tri-state sesh. How lit would that be if everybody in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut just lit up a blunt at the same time? Let's organize that shit for 420. Who's with it? Who's with it? Yeah! Let's organize a fucking tri-state sesh for 420, on 420, at 420. Everybody just light up a fucking blunt. We're gonna have to warn the planes. We gotta warn the airports or something. Talk to NASA or some shit, because that shit gonna be crazy. They ain't gonna see nothing. They just gonna be flying over like, what's going to fucking forest fire? Oh, no, that's Wilma and her tri-state smoke sesh. You know what I'm talking about? But thank you guys. I'm literally just happy to be here. As you can see, I'm just over here like it's fucking Christmas morning or my birthday or some shit. I'm like, I got a jar of weed, I got a blunt, I got edibles, and I got y'all listening to me. Like, what more could I fucking want? Like, word. Shout out to me. Nah, but shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to everybody that tunes in to any show on S.STREET. Shout out to everybody that comments on my posts, that likes my posts, that shares my posts. Get in on this giveaway, guys. Get in on this giveaway. Like, I promise you, you're not going to have to buy no weed for 420 at all. I want to enter. I wish I could enter. I want to enter. I want to win my own shit, but I can't. I gotta stash and dash. I can't stash and then dash back over to the bag and be like, hey, guess what, guys? I won. Nah, I wouldn't do that to y'all. I like y'all too much. But yo, check it out. Wilma'S Potcast. Check out S.STREET Media on YouTube. We on YouTube Live. All the crazy stuff. I never thought that YouTube would have a live either. So I'm just excited to see what else 2021 has in store for us to surprise me even more. Have y'all ever had them, like, really high, like, lazy moments? I'm a fan of the speaker button on the Fire Stick remotes that you could talk to. You could talk to Alexa, whoever, Siri. I don't know who she is. The bitch that's in the remote. I be too high. I'm like, I don't want to type it out. So I click the button. I'm like, Mad TV. And she's like, Maddie V. Getting that from YouTube. And I'm like, who the fuck? Mad TV. Who was Maddie V? So I say it again, Mad TV, and she's like, Madded Bees, getting that from YouTube. And I'm like, oh shit. My hot brain is like, I knew the bees was extinct and we had to help them with the pollination and the flowers and such, but now they need brushes too. They matted. Bees got fur. Like, what the fuck is going on? Obviously they don't. They don't need brushes. The bees are not matted, guys. They're okay. But now I know a whole lot about mating bees. Because 2 hours later, I'm still sitting there with a half a blunt not lit, watching fucking mating bees on YouTube. Completely forgot that I wanted to watch Mad TV, and I'm like, oh fuck. But you know, if you need any facts about bees or how they mate, I got you. Don't worry. Just let me know. We're gonna have a whole episode on that. But it's crazy in those high moments. I recently had a high bozo moment. I had made a bunch of tags for edibles. I had made pistachio cake, and I wrote all of the tags out, and I forgot the H. I forgot the H in pistachio. And I realized it, too, after I had, like, gotten rid of a bunch of them. And I go home, and I look at the tag that's sitting on the counter, and I'm like, pistachio? What? And then I'm thinking, too, because sometimes I have people helping me, and I'm like, what dumbass forgot the fucking H? And then I look, I'm like, oh, no, that's your handwriting. You did that. You sold pistachio. So I was like, whatever. My pound cake's bilingual. What's up? You're going to get high in both languages. Fuck it. Get Flintstone. Just don't get as high as I do and forget letters and shit, guys, because that ain't good for nobody. But yes, guys, Podcast, Wilma'S Potcast. I am bringing you this show to give you the good, the bad, the legal, the ugly. The bad and the ugly usually is the legal. But, you know, the more you know, the more you know, the more you can protect yourself. If it's something that you're interested in, you gotta know about it. Also, for my fellow smokers that like to take road trips or go to different states and different destinations, know before you fucking go. Google the laws on marijuana in those states and also in different counties and different towns. They might have state laws, but different rules and regulations vary by county and town. So it's very important that you do that before you go, before you get caught up. I don't want to get caught up with them state troopers. That's the worst. Not that. Yo, speaking of the state troopers, this was like probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had with weed. We were on the parkway, coming from north, going south on the parkway, and we had just lit a blunt. We passed by like this little whatever, the little U-turn thing on the parkway, and the state trooper pulls out right behind us. I look at my friend, she looks at me, we're like, fuck, like, what do we do? Like, we already know it, like, all right, he's running the plate, he's gonna pull us over. I took the bottle of water, I threw the lip part of the blunt in there, I swallowed the rest of it, I drank the whole water. Motherfucker went right around us. Of course we were relieved, because we had more bud in the car, and it smelled like bud and all that. But it was just like, oh, you playing games. You messing with my emotions now, sir. Like, that's crazy. Like, but when I tell you my heart dropped and my heart was in my ass, man, I was just ready. I was just accepting my fate. I was like, I'm going to jail today. Thank God he passed us. Another run-in with state troopers. This is why I'm just convinced that these guys are just assholes and they just like to fucking play games. I forget, I don't know, Henry Hudson something. I was going up towards like wherever the fuck I was going. And he flashed his lights. I wasn't smoking at the time, but I had bud in the car. He flashed his lights. I pulled over to the side, turned my car off. I'm sitting there, I'm waiting. 40 minutes passes by, and this guy never gets out of his car. So I was going to meet a friend of mine, and I'm texting my friend. I'm like, yeah, I got pulled over. I'm still waiting for him to come out the car. He's like, what? All this time? Like, are you serious? Like, what is going on? I'm like, I wasn't speeding. I didn't do anything. I don't know what happened. So about another 10 minutes. So you figure I was sitting there for 50 minutes, almost an hour. Guy just pulls out and leaves. And my friend is laughing at me. They're like, he probably wasn't even pulling you over. He was probably just taking his break. I'm like, no, he flashed me. And if he wasn't pulling me over, he had almost an hour to tell me, no, ma'am, you're fine. You can go right ahead to your destination. But that was one of the scariest moments that I never had with a police officer. Like, because there was no interaction. But I was scared shitless because I'm like, what the fuck did I do? And then I'm like, oh man, the weed's not even in the trunk. Fuck. And like, just all the shit that goes through your head when you're sitting there with them behind you is just like, damn, I shouldn't have stole that chapstick from CVS. That's crazy. That's what they coming at me for. They know I did it. They know I ate that piece of gum, but I paid for it. Like, all crazy shit. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Not really, but you know, yeah, keeping us safe. It's crazy too, like you see them post, you be like, oh, red, white, and blue always means freedom until they flashing behind you. Like, yeah, because that's how you know you about to lose it all, possibly. But now I could just be like, oh, look, it's only 3 ounces, I could go. I guess, right? I wonder, like, they got breathalyzers, right? What are they going to do? Is there going to be a breathalyzer for weed? Is there gonna be like an eye scan, or like how are they gonna be able to have eye scans? Oh, well, look at that. The more you know. I just learned something new too. They apparently have eye scans. That's crazy. That's scary. Carry Visine everywhere you go. That's crazy. But I was just thinking like, well, oh, blow into this thing and if it smells like weed. I smell like weed. Like, I don't notice it either, but other people do, especially non-smokers. They'll be like, did you just smoke? And I'm like, no, I literally haven't even smoked yet. Like, why are you talking to me? Oh, because you smell like it. Like, my whole house smells like it. My existence just smells like it. Like, I literally take my comforters out of the dryer after washing and drying them, and they still smell like weed. They smell clean, but you still smell the weed. So it's just like, it's embedded. It's embedded in, like, everything, especially when you smoke heavy. And, like I said, I don't even notice it. Sometimes I don't even notice that other people smell like weed because I'm just so used to it. It's like, if I don't smell weed, then I'm like, oh, shit, what's going on? Like, when I don't smell weed, it's a problem. Usually people will have, like, that red flag, like, oh, it smells like weed. Now I'm like, who's not smoking in here? Like, because if you know me, you know I smoke. I smoke heavy. I smoke a lot. We be at events, and I be having grown-ass men tapping out, like, nah. No more blunts. Yeah, we already know. Matt is one of them. Man, he was like, I was not prepared for that. And then me and my friend is just over here like, yo, you rolling another one? And people are like, chill, you just smoked. I'm like, all right, 10 minutes. Roll another one. Just roll it so we ready in 10 minutes. So, I don't know. You know, to me, weed is almost like smoking a cigarette. It's like, I have to smoke multiples. Even if I eat an edible, I don't have the patience to wait for it to kick in. So I eat it and I roll 2 blunts and smoke them back to back. I need 2 after the edible, 2 right before it kicks in, and then 2 when it kicks in, so I could be really sure. Yo, but let me tell you about them punch bars. Y'all wanna hear my punch bar horror story? Bro, I don't know what they do, and they say that the whole bar is 225 milligrams, right? They're underestimating that shit. Because I didn't even eat a whole bar. One of my brownies is equivalent to like 350, 375. So I eat that and I function properly, no problem. I ate 5 tiny little pieces of a punk ass punch bar, and that shit knocked me the fuck out. Like, literally knocked me out. Like, I was cooking and everything. I got up enough to turn off the oven so I didn't burn the fucking house down. But I didn't even eat. I laid back down and I was stuck. I didn't give a fuck about the world. I didn't give a fuck about nothing. All I wanted to do was just not be that high anymore. And, like, that's a lot for me to say. To not want to be high anymore. Like, that shit literally punched me in the face and was like, yo, hold up. Sit back down. You're not going nowhere. Turn your phone off. And I was like, okay, punch bar. I'm throwing the other 4 pieces out, though. Because I was like, nah. People underestimate them shits because they so little and cute. Then you're like, oh, this is nothing. Let me just... No. Don't eat a whole punch bar. Take it from me. Do not eat a whole punch bar. Unless you're trying to achieve sedation. Because that's exactly what it does. And like, I don't know, I ate it at like maybe like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I ain't smoked the whole day. I didn't smoke shit. I couldn't smoke. I couldn't even look at weed. I was just like like dead ass. And I think it has something to do with the fact that I was like, oh well, let me just eat like the most like least popular one. Nobody buys these mint bullshits. So I was like, fuck it. And then all I tasted was weed and mint in my throat, and I was just like, oh, go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Just ride this shit out. I woke up the next day still high, and like mad at the fact that I was still high, because I was like, fuck you, little punch bar. How dare you? They need to come with more of a warning. Like, people tell me I gotta put warning labels on my edibles. No. Mine, you will be safe. I promise you will be safe. You might fall asleep in a car, but you will be safe. You ain't gonna be mad that you that high. You're gonna be like, wow, I'm still this high. This is a good high. Whatever you putting in those punch bar company or whoever manufactures them shits, kudos to you, because that's crazy. I couldn't do it. So I was like, 3 is my limit. And I knew that 3 pieces was my limit. But I still ate 5 anyway, because I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm in a bad mood today. I'm going to eat this. The rest of that punch bowl is still sitting on my nightstand, and it stares at me every day. It's like, fuck you, bitch. Punk ass bitch. You weak ass bitch. You couldn't handle a little punch ball. I was like, nah, bro. You two-pieced me. Leave me alone. I should really throw that shit out. Now that I'm thinking about it. Tony's always like, no. Give it to me. Give it to me. I'll take the punch bar challenge. Oh, that's another. Look at that right there. Let's have a punch bar challenge. Anybody that can eat a whole punch ball and still fucking walk properly 2 hours later, I'll give you one for free. Lungs of steel, but I don't know the metabolism with the punch bars, though. It's different. This bitch would literally put me to shame. I lit a dab and I was like, yo, take it easy because this should be killing my lungs. She cleared the shit and then blew. I was like, oh, so you were dragging. You were dragging. I heard you. Oh, my bad, guys. You know I'll be too high and shit. Like I said, I knew I couldn't be smoking it up out here, smoking out the whole building, setting off the fire alarms and shit. So I ate edibles, so I'm just in like slow-mo. So I know y'all see. I just be like, hey. I'm already thinking about what I'm going to eat when I leave. I'm like, hey, yo, where's the chimney spot at? Because, you know, edible high. That should be... Man, and I'm looking at it right here, too. Like, open it. Eat another piece. But, yo, for real, guys, check out that carrot cake. That's like a holiday time favorite, especially for right now. This shit is moist and sweet, and you can taste the carrots and the weed. I love when you get edibles and you taste the bud. Like, I've had so many that I get, especially like homemade ones, and you're like, what is in here? What did you do? All I taste is sugar. But yo, fuck them punch bars, man. I'm just thinking about it. You know how like you think that's like the equivalent of when you drink a certain liquor and you have such a bad experience with it, you could just never drink it again, and just the thought or the sight of it is just like, stay away. Like, I open the freezer every day and I'm like, never mind, I don't even want to look at you. Don't look me in my face. Like, you embarrassed me. This is terrible. Yeah, she was texting me for hours like, oh my god, are you okay? And I think I finally texted her back at like 12 or some shit when I woke up, and I was like, yeah, fucking, I'm alive, I'm still hot. She's like, oh, okay. I'm like, no, I'm still on slow-mo. I'll talk to you in an hour, I gotta go. And then the fucking punch bar laughed at me like, haha, bitch. It be taunting me, I swear to God. Like, you know, I feel like that's another thing that I do when I'm high, like the personification of inanimate objects. Like, I legit be having fucking conversations with shit that is just, no, like, the fan won't turn on. I'm like, you motherfucker. Like, yeah, do something, bitch. Like, the punch bar. I literally was talking to the punch bar. Like, is that normal? Do normal people do that? Yeah, no, I don't make it talk back to me. I definitely don't make it talk back to me. However, I like talk back for it myself in my brain. Because I'd be like, fuck you, punch bar. I'd be like, fuck you too, bitch. And I'd be like, yeah, that's why I ate you. And I'd be like, that's why I dropped you. I'm like, oh, yeah, you did. You definitely did. Or stupid shit too, like, my charger won't work, and I'll be cursing the charger out, like, if that's gonna make a difference, like, if the charger can understand me, and the charger's gonna be like, oh, okay, you hurt my feelings, so I'm gonna work now for you. Like, that would be lit, though. That'd be pretty fucking lit. That would definitely be good for stoners when they lose their phone, or they lose their lighter, if the shit could just fucking yell back at you, like, yo, bitch, I'm under the pillow. You flung me across the room looking for the remote. Because I can't even tell you how many times I will sit down on the couch or the bed with the lighter and the blunt in my hand. Look away for fucking 3 seconds and the light is gone. I've lost the blunt before too. I actually recently, I took it out of the garbage though. I threw it out. I threw a blunt out. I was rolling up with an entourage. And you know how like the inner thing of the entourage looks almost like a blunt or like a cigar itself. I left that on the tray and put my blunt in the wrapper and threw my blunt in the garbage can. And then I went to go sit down. I pick it up. I'm like, oh, this is Fonto. I'm not smoking this shit. And then I'm like, what did you do with the blunt? So, of course, a woman, I'm checking my bra. That's the first thing to look in. I'm like, you didn't put the whole fucking blunt in your bra. And then I'm just like backtracking, and I'm like, it's not under the tray, it's not here, it's not there. It was in the garbage. At least it was in the wrapper though, so it wasn't too bad. But you know, it's definitely those high moments where you just be misplaced and shit. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I'm looking for my phone and the shit is in my hand, or I'm looking for my glasses and they on top of my head, and I'm just like, oh, roll another one. And I say it to myself jokingly, but then myself is like, heard you, bitch, roll another one. And then I just lose more shit, but then I don't care because I'm really fucking high. But yo, anybody that is interested in coming down, anybody that is interested in coming down and getting Flintstoned with me, have some edible samples. We'll do a roll. We should make this more interesting. A rolling competition. We go head to head. Like I said, some of New York City's best joint and blunt rollers. Whether you roll your shit in a fucking toilet paper wrapper, I don't care. Let's go head to head. We're gonna roll on air, on YouTube Live, and I'm gonna judge the shit out of your blunt, and you're not allowed to judge mine. That's the rules. You can't judge my blunt. I could only judge yours. But I think that would definitely make this more interesting, rather than just somebody showing off their rolling skills or the fact that they can roll. Let's go make it a real. We're gonna fucking, what's that? A duel? Is that a duel? Is that what you call that? I don't even know. I be fucking my words up, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me. It's the weed. I feel like at this point I'm just like a walking blunt. Like, y'all could probably fucking smoke me. Yeah, y'all could probably just be like, oh, look, Cardi lost the hair. I could get high off of that. Let me put it in my bong. I be confused back here a little bit, because it's like, I don't know the hand gestures and shit. So it's like, I don't know. Bear with me. Like I said, bear with me, guys. But thank you again to everyone who has supported me, everybody that has liked, shared, followed, even the words of encouragement. Like, it means a lot, and I appreciate you guys. I respect all of you. Thank you again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to S.STREET Media. The evolution of media is us. The evolution of media might be weed too, but we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in another episode. But thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody that tuned in on YouTube Live. Everybody that subscribed to the YouTube channel. Follow me. Follow Wilma'S Potcast. WILMAS POTCAST. Get in on that giveaway. Stash and Dash on 420, guys. Why would you want to buy weed when you could get it for free? I'm just saying. If somebody told me they're like, yo, they giving away this, that, and I'm like, word? I'm going to make 12 Instagram accounts just to follow and heighten my odds. Like, let me, you know what I mean? Like, but check us out. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube Live, guys. Like, this is a thing. YouTube Live. This is a thing. This is crazy. I feel like an old woman right now because I'm like, oh my God, you're on YouTube Live. That's crazy. But it really is. It really is. But yo, definitely check us out and come get Flintstone with me, guys. And thank you again. I'm repetitive now because I'm high. But thank you. Thank you very much. And tune in every Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. only on S.STREET Media. And we out of here till next Thursday. Stay stoned, guys.
Hello.
Okay, you hear yourself?
Yeah, I hear myself.
It's ready.
Make sure my.
I'm not even anymore.
You let me know when you're ready. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2,